guys, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am so excited to share with you some of my favorite handmade and thrifted gifts that I am giving for Christmas this year, and I wanted to get this out as quickly as possible because Christmas is so quickly approaching, and I wanted you guys to be able to draw inspiration from this video. So this first item you're seeing here that I made from some thrifted fabric. It's absolutely beautiful fabric. I got all of this for $4 from the thrift store, and I went ahead and cut it into some squares, and then I sewed the hems so that I could make them into reusable napkins. And then I didn't show them very well in that first clip, but I thrifted some napkin holders as well, and some of them were just kind of like a plastic, but they looked kind of crystally and they're really pretty. But then I found some that were, I'm not sure what they were made out of, porcelain or ceramic or something like that, but they were white and they had like this really pretty floral etching on it. And so I found those, and so I decided to give that as a gift to my sister. I think she'll really like this pattern, and we've been talking about the fact that she kind of wants some napkins and stuff, so I think it'll be perfect for her. And then moving on to some of the things that I've thrifted, and I didn't do anything to make them. I thrifted this for my mother-in-law. She loves antiques, and basically when I went to the thrift store, I was just looking for things that I would like, and then I just gave them to her. And I did really like these things, but they also just kind of like screamed to me that like they'd be something my mother-in-law would love. Like, she's a Longaberger stan, and so finding this little tote bag at the antique store was a great find for her, as well as these little framed, I don't know, vintage girls, whatever time period they're from, and then they all have different little color outfits on, and so I found those and I just really loved them. And then my daughter actually at the antique store picked out this ornament. It's like a little vintage bear ornament. My daughter picked it out, and this was her gift to my mother-in-law, to her grandmother. And then we also got one for my grandfather as well. She picked out an ornament for him, but it wasn't thrifted or anything, so I just didn't show that in this video. And then moving on to another gift we gave my husband's parents. I found this, what I thought was an iron picture frame holder, or maybe it was like a cookbook holder or something like that. And I was really drawn to it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And again, it looked like something that my mother-in-law would really like, or at least that's what I kind of thought when I saw it. And then I decided, it had some little like green and white parts that was like patina, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know that it didn't register to me in that moment, but like I guess iron doesn't really patina like that. And so I talked to my Nana about it, and she was like, just use some dish soap. So I tried some dish soap and it didn't do anything. So I used Barkeeper's Friend, and I rubbed and rubbed and rubbed, and finally I saw some brass shining through, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a much bigger project than I was really bargaining for. And so I got myself a toothbrush and I scrubbed that thing. So you can obviously see, it looks brass, but then you can see in the before clip that I showed briefly, it looks black and, iron almost. So I scrubbed that thing as much as I possibly could, and it wasn't perfect, but it shows the signs of age, so I'm totally fine with that as well. But I think it ended up looking beautiful, and honestly I was jealous. I was like, oh, I kind of want to keep this, but and then I just went ahead and I thrifted a frame and put a picture of my husband and my daughter in there as well. So I really love the way that gift turned out. And so now I'm just going to show you a couple things that I just picked up from the thrift store quickly. So I found this statue that I thought would be perfect for my sister. It's Lenox, it's Cinderella, it's from 1993. I just absolutely love this, and this is something I totally would have kept for myself. And I found some salt and pepper shakers as well for a gift exchange that we're doing. And so it's totally possible I will end up with these, which would be great. If not, I know a couple of my friends would really like them as well. So I just thought that these were so sweet, and I found them for $2, and the statue I found for $4.
All right, hello. I really wanted to film this little part. I find myself tonight alone in the house, which is very unusual. So I just thought I'd take advantage of this to finish up filming this video. And I really wanted to share one of my last things that I handmade this year, which obviously we still have a few weeks until Christmas. And so after I show you this, I'm actually going to take you downstairs and show you a couple of other ideas that I have of things that I've given in years past or plan to give this year. But the last thing I've made so far, and will be making in this, or will have made in this video, I suppose. If you have been following me on TikTok or any Instagram or on YouTube for any amount of time, I think I made this about 6 months ago. I thrifted this cute little box, and inside I put a little, I have a little bed in there. I made a little pillow, a little quilt, and a little bear. I am still very new to sewing and things, so no, it's not at all perfect, but you'll even see just now, you'll see that I actually have improved a lot in the past 6 months. So this is the first little set I made, little quilt and pillow set. I just love all of these fabrics, and I really wanted to have a way to kind of keep them even if I use them for other projects, and the same for a lot of these fabrics. So I decided to make the bear a little Christmas quilt this year, and so I used kind of more like fall and Christmassy colors, but still wanted it to be very pretty. So a lot of florals, and you can even see just like the size difference. You can see like on the back, this is kind of patched together, whereas this is all one solid piece. I feel like the sizing is just a little bit better as far as like the individual squares and stuff. So I'm definitely glad that, although that's not perfect, that I'm getting better. And then this little pillow as opposed to this pillow, I mean, it's not that different other than just the size, but I am getting better. So this bed is actually, here, let me actually just show you. So this is what the bear's little room looked like before. Everything kind of just like fits, you know, kind of just exactly, or as far as the bed is concerned, not even quite exactly. And so when I put this all together and I realized there was this little space here, it's almost the exact right size to store an extra little set of bedding. And so from the beginning, I always kind of had the thought that maybe I would make a little Christmas pillow and blanket to put in here, so that when the one is stored at the end of the bed, I don't know, it just like makes it look a lot more like completed and more intentional. And I also think of like back in the olden days when people, like little girls, would keep trunks at the end of their bed filled with, you know, their off-season clothes or whatever. And then this blanket actually has a little space to wrap around rather than just like be set on top. So again, although definitely not perfect, I have gotten a lot better, and I'm quite proud of that. Also, I just want to mention the colors are coming up a little bit weird on camera. It doesn't look this odd. This is more of like a deeper reddish brown, and then this is not, I feel like it looks a little more gray on camera. And yes, I know I used like a white thread, and typically you wouldn't do that, but you know, it's just a little girl's play things. I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal. So that's kind of how I wanted to have it planned. So this is one of the gifts that I will be giving her for Christmas, and I'll show her, you know, that it was meant for this little bear setup and show her everything. So I'm quite excited to give that to her this year. This is for my daughter, by the way. I don't even know if I said that. Sorry, my house is a bit messy. Like I said, I wasn't actually expecting to be home alone today. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to go ahead and film this very quickly for you guys and get it out well before Christmas time. So I do apologize. This is usually, I try to hold myself to a little bit of a higher standard as far as like cleanliness and aesthetic, but that is not the point of this video anyways. So I'll just go ahead and tell you the things that hopefully will be helpful to you, and just ignore all of my surroundings because, you know, again, not the point. So yes, so the other ideas that I have, again, none of this stuff is actually made because I'm making this video in advance for you guys to give you ideas, but I do plan on making these things before Christmas. Just I'll make them a couple weeks down the line. So none of it's made, but just use your imagination a little bit. One thing that I love doing is for part of the family we celebrate with, my mom's grandparents and that whole, all my cousins and stuff on that side. We all celebrate together, and I love to just bring little things that everybody can kind of pick and choose just to help make the holiday a little bit more special. We don't do that many gifts anymore now that all the kids are grown up, so it just helps to make it a little bit more special, in my opinion. So this is what we kind of do. I've made little felt ornaments that I'll include a video here. Felt ornaments that I cut and embroidered and stuffed, and you know, it has the first letter of their last name for each family. So I've made one for each family, and so they'll take one of those, but also displayed on the table for people to choose what they want to take. They won't get to probably take every single item, but they'll get to take, you know, a few things here and there. So one thing is I'm going to be making granola. If you don't know, me and my husband actually own a bakery, and one of the things that I'm in charge of making is the granola, which people really rave about how good this granola is, which is just crazy to me because it's so simple and basic. Watch our video that I'm going to link if you're interested. I've actually made this granola in tons of videos, but I'm going to be making those and putting them out in these jars. And I make little fabric toppers. I'll include a picture. I include little fabric toppers to put on these just to make them that much more special. And I'm going to be doing ones that are in like Christmas colors. So those will look really, really pretty. And then I do plan on canning some jam. I only have a few of these jars, so I'm just gonna do it with what I have. But I actually love to use, this pot is dirty, but I'll just show you. Everybody, I know a lot of people have the perfect pot or awesome pot or whatever from our place, that's what this is. I guess the pan is a lot more viral, but the pot is great actually. It comes with this like thing you can set in the bottom, which I don't really know what it's for, but I use it if I want to can small jars, just because the pot isn't as big as my big canner that I use for the quart size jars. So anyways, just a little hack. If you have that pot or a similar pot, you can totally use that to can your jam. I've done it before. I'm going to do it this year. So they'll get to kind of choose if they want to take like granola jam. Obviously, they'll get their little letter ornament. And then we're going to be putting homemade vanilla, which we already have made. We made it months ago so that it would be ready to use. So I have these little jars that I've reused from something else. And the little Cracker Barrel syrup jars are also really great for gifting, you know, dried herbs or whatever, or like Old Spice jars you have. Save those. They're perfect for gifting little homemade things like extract or, you know, spices and herbs that you dry and make yourself. And so, yeah, I'm like, you know, one of these days, Cracker Barrel is not going to be serving their syrup in these nice little cute glass jars, and we're all gonna miss them. But we don't go there very often, but whenever I do, I try to grab these jars and take them, and I sneak them out so that I can use them for things like this. And I encourage you to do the same, because, you know, one day will come, you'll bring out your pancakes and a little plastic cup of syrup, and you'll be disappointed that you didn't steal the little glass jars. I'm sure they just throw them away, right? Like, who cares? They don't care. They're probably like, please take them, but I'm like sneaking them out of my purse. It's fine. And then the other thing I try to make, one thing I love making for our bakery is banana nut muffins. So I'm just going to make little banana nut loaves. I love to thrift these little festive loaf pans. And so there's not enough for everybody, but not everyone likes banana nut bread anyways. So I'll just line those with parchment, just, you know, so no one gets weirded out that they were thrifted. I do clean them very well though. And then, line them with parchment paper. Those will be banana nut, chocolate chip loaves. And then the plain little mini loaf pans that my husband's probably gonna put like sourdough bread or maybe chocolate milk bread or something. And we'll put them in those pans and then just like, take them out obviously and like wrap them in saran wrap or something and gift those. So basically they can choose whatever. There should be enough for everyone to take 3 or 4 items. So that's kind of what we plan to do. But also you could totally make these types of things and put them together in a little gift basket. Maybe you thrift a really beautiful plate, or sometimes I go to Home Goods to buy really beautiful pie plates or cookie plates or whatever, and you can bake little cookies or put peppermint bark in there or something, and then just kind of have some little homemade treats with your little pretty cookie plate or your pretty little loaf pans. So those are some of the things that I will be making or thrifting for our Christmas this year to try to cut down on the overconsumption that happens this time of year and to make Christmas just a little bit more special for the people I'm celebrating with. I feel like anyone can go out to Walmart and buy something that they really want or need these days. I know a lot of people in my family, like if they really need something or want something, they just buy it. So we don't always have a lot of wow moment gifts that we can give them. But if I can thrift something, or we frame pictures, or sometimes I've had Rosie make ornaments and stuff, like things like that are so much more special to people and they hold so much more meaning. And so that's what we're trying to place emphasis on this year. Consumable gifts are great because people don't have to worry about having all of this stuff like take over their home each time. At this time of year, I've talked to a lot of mom friends that are already anxious in anticipation, anxious in a bad way, in anticipation for Christmas, because they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these toys. Like, I've already donated half of my kids' toys, but I have 4 kids now, and like we just don't have space. And to double the amount of, seriously, some of these families go all out and they like double the amount of gifts. So it's like, just take the kid out to the movies, or take the kid to the zoo, or take the kid to the park. It doesn't even have to cost money. Just do, experiences, do consumable gifts. I love doing that anyways, I guess, to cut down on just the amount of things that people have to bring into their home this time of year. And of course, it's lovely to receive gifts that are things that are really special. Again, like, thrifted things, or something that will really mean something to the person, like a handmade gift. At least that's what means something to me. Now, don't get me wrong, my family also shares Amazon lists with each other of things that we do kind of really want or need, that we wouldn't splurge on ourselves. So there is a little subset of my family that does that, but then for like extended family, we do a lot of handmade and thrifted gifts. So and for friends as well. So that's what we'll be doing. And even just for my mom and my sister this year, instead of doing birthday gifts and a Mother's Day gift, I took them on a trip to Canada and we did a girls' weekend, and it was awesome. So I totally encourage you guys to step back from, I want to give my grandkids 100 gifts and the over-consumers, like, stop. We have to stop. Like, as a society, we need to take a step back, ground ourselves into making memories or just doing something special for someone from our hearts, rather than putting ourselves in financial overwhelm from this time of year. That's my 2 cents anyways. I guess do whatever you want. But if you're my family, please don't worry about getting us too many things. And if you do, we would prefer experiences or handmade things or just something really special. That's, again, my 2 cents. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope that I was able to give you some helpful ideas. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for your support. I love you guys so much. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.